Hey YouTube, welcome back. So overnight Nintendo dropped the next patch update to Animal Crossing New Horizons, bringing the game up to version 2.0.5. Now unlike the previous patch update that saw 2.0.4 introduce small amounts of content such as the gyroid fragments spawning on mainland beaches and of course the remaining Zodiac figurines within Katrina's prize pool and essentially future-proofing all New Year's events, the latest update that was distributed a few hours ago doesn't appear to add anything to the game content-wise other than some minor adjustments and some hot fixes for some pretty serious bugs and glitches. Version 2.0.5 is now the 5th update since version 2, and believe it or not, it's been 2 months since the previous patch, so we're probably overdue one, especially given there were some issues causing the game to freeze and events not to progress as expected. Now, as always, the full patch notes cover the basic fixes for both New Horizons and the Happy Home Paradise DLC. New Horizons sees 6 significant fixes, including fixes to Photopia and issues stopping players progressing, most notably if a lot of furniture items had been placed on the island. Again, these are under certain conditions, so not everyone would experience these, but it's clearly not how the game was intended. Other fixes include fixing Luna's dialogue that would repeat with the newly added search by island name feature, and also another fix to villagers who would wear custom designs incorrectly. We had already seen a similar issue to this addressed in previous updates when villagers wouldn't be wearing any clothing, so it's actually good to see Nintendo keeping an eye on old glitches just in case they're still not completely fixed under all conditions. Another bug which I hadn't actually heard of saw villagers get stuck inside players' houses, which is kind of funny, but as of 2.0.5 is fixed too. The final points for New Horizons at least addresses the door decoration that would accidentally be removed when remodeling homes, and some other minor adjustments and corrections made to improve gameplay, which is something Nintendo always say to cover all bases, including things like nerfing spawn rates or adjusting the speed of things, and essentially the stuff that's not really worth labeling. Similarly, the Happy Home Paradise expansion saw 2 significant fixes, including some pretty serious issues that made the game freeze or players unable to progress past the loading screens, which is a strange one as this only occurred when releasing ants or flies apparently, and the second being events that wouldn't progress as intended if the game was exited too quickly whilst working on a facility. Of course, Nintendo's last point for the DLC fixes was other adjustments and corrections were made to improve the gameplay experience, which, like we already mentioned earlier, is basically code for we did some boring behind the scenes stuff that you probably won't even notice. So that's version 2.0.5. It's super awesome to see Nintendo continue to patch New Horizons and fix these issues when they're discovered. Naturally, this happens when previous updates and fixes get in the hands of millions of players, so it's nice to see Nintendo still monitoring the game. With that said, the likes of Splatoon 2 still receives patch updates even 4 or 5 years after its release, so given the sheer volume of New Horizons players and the popularity of the title, we can expect the same thing. Again, seeing small patch updates like this doesn't completely write off future content being added either. They generally release patches as soon as bugs are addressed, whether they have other planned updates or not. But what do you think about this patch update, and have you noticed any changes or new content that Nintendo may not have announced? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, thank you so much to all the patrons and channel members for supporting this content, and until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.